Now I want to call your attention to this early turn of the century undated postcard featuring a picture of the Duluth Fire Department engine house number 1. And here she is today in 2025. Today, we take a closer look at the Old World Fire Department engine house number 1 in Duluth, Minnesota, supposedly built in 1889. We are told in the 1880s that Duluth, Minnesota's population surged from about 2,200 people in 1877 to over 26,000 people by 1887, just 10 years later, creating pressure on its volunteer fire department. And we are also told in the 1880s that Duluth had an increase in structure fires and a poor firefighting infrastructure, and they had demanded a more professional response. Therefore, Duluth transitioned from a volunteer to a paid fire department in 1886. And if you notice right away, they had to abbreviate the fire department written on the header here. Seems interesting since it was designed as a fire department. And this building was supposedly built in 1889 by famed architect Oliver Traphagen and Francis Fitzpatrick, and built in just 1 year, of course. And obviously, a building built in the 1880s in less than 1 year would have a Romanesque revival style. And originally, this structure included 3 large arched doors for walk-in access and apparatus entry, a brownstone balcony, and a massive bell tower using the bell from the 1871 station, and a stable/shop building forming an L-shaped complex. And they tell us the tower, a round arched observation deck with wrought iron balustrade topped by an OG dome capped by a flagpole, was removed from the fire hall, and the 16-foot chimney was lowered when they left the fire hall in 1918 and became city storage until 2012 when it was sold for apartments. Again, this structure has the rounded brick. Crazy brickwork and detail. And I mean, why this up here? And they tell us these are fire horns, of all things. And I mean, look at this little detail work. I mean, this place is incredible. They're telling us it was built in 1 year, including all the surrounding buildings around it, forming a U more than an L shape. Interior details featured pine and maple finishes and a double staircase, and 4 brass fire poles, which have now been removed. And looking at our first historical photo, this one is dated circa 1890. This would have only been 1 year old at the time. I find it hard to believe there'd be all this Virginia creeper vine all over it that fast. I want you to pay attention to some of these details here. Look at how it's already overgrown everything here. And if you notice up here on this balcony, this little tuft, I want you to remember that for the next photo. And if we look up here, there's another tuft on top. I want you to remember this specific too here. And as we go down, you can see this wooden plank sidewalk. These gentlemen down here, and look at, you can see they can't even keep their wooden boards down proper, but this building is immaculate. Built in less than a year. I mean, look at that board. And then we see this broken down wagon by the second or third tree up the avenue here. And we look, we still see the large chimney is still intact, and the bell tower. And we see some horse and wagons in the other building. And look at, there seems to be a boardwalk. And look at these windows. It looks like they're digging this out or cleaning it up. I don't know if somebody's building on top or what is going on there. But this is quite interesting. And this next photo here, to contrast, this one is dated circa 1913, which would have made this structure about 24 years old at this picture. And right away here we notice the exact same growth of appears to be on this picture as the last one. And remember, I was pointing out those different tufts in the sidewalk issue, and here we can see everything looks almost identical to the last picture we were looking at. Different people, obviously. We don't have the horses out here, but we do have this sidewalk with the same issue. Exact same issue. Building perfection. Sidewalk, wood sidewalks, they got a problem. And look at, we have our wagon broken down about the second or third tree in the avenue there. We got a slightly different angle on this photo than the last. We still have our smokestack. That's still intact in this photo, even though it says 1913. The last one said circa 1890. And here's the aforementioned OG dome and bell tower with lookout. Look at how beautiful this is. I wonder what these tiles are made out of in this roof, and if this was here to harness free energy. I mean, look at the dome on top. Obviously metallic. And then here we zoom in. You can see this growth looks like identical. Look at, you can see that little tuft, that exact tuft in the last picture. No way that would carry through multiple seasons, much less decades. And over here we have the exact same picture on the building next door, the attached building, the same junk in the window, the same boards leading on dirt into the doorless entryway with no windows, identical to the last picture. And here we have a picture dated 1892, and already the smokestack has been taken down, yet the belfry remains, and the building next door is a different building in general. I mean, what the heck is going on here? None of these timelines add up. They're all contradictory. I know it's not exact dating, but something is not adding up. The fact that two of those photos had identical growth on the front of it speaks volumes. It says that something was manipulated with that same photo. Does it not? Please leave your comments down below on what you think. Now, this west side of the building has incredible detail as well. As you can see, the arches and columns, Romanesque theme, and this intricate brickwork. And also there are some mud-flooded, buried arched windows and doorways. And notice on this archway and the bricks here, they've used wood to replace a brick. State-of-the-art 2025, I tell you. And possibly the highlight of the video here, take a look at this date-inscribed chimney. I mean, look at this wreath up here. Obviously, you have to have that on a firehouse in 1889. Chisel that baby in when you're 1 year build time. And I mean, look at this brickwork. Did they chop the corners off bricks for that? I mean, no one can even see this stuff from the street, barely. Especially back in the horse and wagon days. And I mean, were these dates added or were they manipulated? The AD, you think maybe that was added? Now look at this. Were some of the numbers added or was all of the number added here? It's interesting. I put as much contrast as I could. Please leave your comments down below. I want to know what everybody else thinks watching this. This design motif just makes me want to put out a fire. And don't forget, with this amazing 1 year build time, it wasn't just the straight structure ahead of us. It was the other two buildings included. 1 year in 1889, folks. And this walk between was built in 1960. I don't understand why they didn't use all the ornate stonework and brickwork, but apparently that's what they could do in 1960. Nothing like 1889, I'll tell you. I wonder why. And upon first glance, this building next door, connected with the walkway here, looks like it's a newer addition. But at further inspection, you can see she's buried in a was lots of bricked in archways, especially on this side in the back of the building. And upon further inspection, this structure does look ancient as well. And here you can see more of the buried bricked in archways here. It was hard to take a picture, so I tried to take a video instead. Still, it's difficult to see. And the official story on this structure is wild. Built in just 1 year, with all this Romanesque detail, and that beautiful tower, and they took that belfry down, and they took the smokestack down, and they only needed it 28 years and then used it for storage for 100 years? Does this make sense, folks? And what do you folks think? Please leave your comments below. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.